All right, good morning, traders. Today is April 11th, 2024. Thank you for being here. My SPY pivot this morning, 514.75. Above it, I'm a bull. Below it, I'm a bear. All of the Fab 5 made lower highs and lower lows, closing daily candles under the bearish cross or a bearish trap and under the 17 EMA. Okay, so SPY and IWM now join Diamond Dow in the latest downtrend club, while QQQ and FNGU remain in daily uptrends. Gold still in an uptrend, made a lower high and a lower low, but closed the day over the bullish trap over the rising 17 EMA. Silver made a new 2.5-year high for the 7th day in a row. USO still in an uptrend and a 6-month high, made a lower high and a lower low, closing over the bullish trap above the rising 17 EMA. Now UNG recently started a brand new uptrend and made an inside day, closing over the bullish trap over the flat 17 EMA. US dollar index still in an uptrend, made a big hop yesterday, clearing the bullish consolidation, closing the day around the 105.20 area, just over the most recent pivot high made on Valentine's Day. So there's about we're almost on the 14th here, so there's a 2-month high just got taken out. So that makes, it makes the US dollar in a 2024 all-time high, I think. Maybe, maybe not. We'll take a look at it. All right, let's go look at some charts. All right, first chart is the SPY. Let's hit the daily chart first. All right, zoom in here. Okay, this pretty sure is today's price action. Yep. So here's yesterday's price action. Okay, you can see the wick up here. We're underneath a bearish cross. That's that yellow line that spikes down to this daily candle right here. Okay, so here we got a lower high and a lower low. All right, so closing below the bearish trap underneath the dots. All right, so that's the 17 EMA. So closing the day underneath the 17 EMA. So that's bearish, all right? And we took out this low, so we produced a lower high and made a lower low, putting us, SPY, in a downtrend. Now, overall, this is bullish. This is a big move up and then consolidate over to the right. This is all normal. On a weekly standpoint, this is still bullish. Monthly, still bullish. Just on the daily, we just made a downtrend. But I'm looking for this to probably hold this area over 500. You know, maybe waffle back and forth for 5 or 6 months till they do actually do some rate cuts. And then we could see a breakout from the consolidation after consolidating for 3 or 4 months. So that's what I'm kind of looking for. We'll see what happens. Still got a lot of sectors still in bullish territory, and they're not rolling over yet. So there's SPY. Let's we'll drill down to the 10-minute. Okay, so where's my pivot for today? 514, right up here. So right about there, 514.70 is my pivot for today. Okay, so over or 75. So 514.75. Over that, I want to be a bull. That would be clearing these wicks up here. See, we got a whole lot of wick going on up here. If they break through that resistance, wicks kind of show us where the resistance is. So if they break through that resistance, I want to see them hold the ground up over these wicks and that tells me that the bulls are in charge for the day. Right now, what we got here, that would be a tail. That would be a tail, a tail, a tail. If you slide the price action together, in other words, you combine those two 10-minute candles here, you'd find yourself looking at a tail. And the same thing happens here. And you see we got a tail there. And the same thing, you would have the same look here if you combine those two 10-minute candles. So we are breaking through support. All right. Now the question is, can they hold it down here? So we're breaking through support right now in the pre-market, which was pretty much what I said. Leaving the day yesterday, we had a descending wick pattern that didn't follow through yet because there wasn't enough time left in the day. That could have been the reason. Could have been the data wasn't that bad. We'll see what happens. But now we're getting the follow through now for that descending wick pattern. So we'll see how low they want to take it. We do have two open gaps down below. Okay, we got one right here, which sits about 510 up to, I think, 511.40. There's one gap. And then there's another one right about 508.12 down to 507.18 is another open gap that we have. So we got two open gaps down below. If they get into either one of these, is a really good possibility they go to the other side. So we'll see what happens today. So if we're down here, I got to believe we're going to go check this breakup candle low, which pretty much would be the beginning of this open gap. And if they get into that open gap, good chance we probably fill it. All right. Now, if we go through this and we start checking this breakup candle low, all right, right there, we could be going a little further down to the next open gap, which kind of exists right here for this breakup candle low right there. And that would bring us to the top of the next open gap. So it's a good chance we may hit 508.12 today. We'll see what happens. Maybe a bounce, maybe not. I would think there would be probably a dollar bounce depending upon how fast and hard they hit this support area at 508.12. All right, so there's SPY for today. Now, we are in a 2-hour downtrend. See the 3 underneath the 8 EMA, that's the white one. So we're in a 2-hour downtrend. We're looking for a 10-minute downtrend. Now, we left yesterday, we were doing nothing but waffling right there. You see the waffle right there? All those little cups that you have when you have one of those Belgian waffles. Well, that's all that is. It's just waffling all through there. And now you can see in the post market, we have a 10-minute downtrend. So in order to get in this, all I'm going to need to see is anywhere below 512.31. Okay, I want a sign that we broke resistance because I don't want to take a trade going right into support. Okay, I want to see us break the support. So underneath 512.31, I'm looking for red candles to erase green candles. All right, and that's my entry right there. Soon as red candles erase green candles under 512.31, because while it may spike it, there's no guarantee that it's going to follow through and go all the way through. All right, so it's better for me if it happens underneath 512.31, green candles being erased by red ones, and that's what I'm looking for price action to now follow through and come down and fill this gap right here, this open gap from a couple weeks ago, multiple weeks ago. This was back in March. So this happened. It's an open gap from last month. So that's the plan this morning. 2-hour downtrend, find the 10-minute downtrend inside it. All right, it's no telling how low they want to go. They may take off and just start running fast. They may creep into it. We'll see how they trade it. So that's on the 10-minute chart. Looking for red 10-minute candles to erase green 10-minute candles. And that would be my entry underneath the body. All right, I need a candle to close underneath the body or price to take out the wick, the tail down here at the bottom. Those are my entries. Candle closing below the body or price taking out the tail, the end of the tail. Okay, so there's SPY. All right, so let's go back. Look at QQQ. All right, remember QQQ is not in a downtrend. Okay, QQQ is still in an uptrend and just consolidating over to the right. Yesterday's price action, lower high, lower low, closing below a bearish trap below the 17 EMA. Bull flag consolidation on QQQ. So this is tech heavy. Technology still kind of bullish here. All right, let's take a look at, let's try the next one, IWM. Let's find that. So here's IWM taking out the low right here, placing IWM in a downtrend. Lower high, lower low, closing below a bearish trap underneath a flat 17 EMA right there. So IWM in a downtrend right now. Sorry about that. I'm still not 100%, but I do feel better. All right, FNGU. All right, FNGU, just like QQQ, still in an uptrend. All right, so we got FNGU making a lower high and a lower low, but closing underneath the bearish cross. Okay, no trap yet. We have a cross, bearish cross, underneath a flat 17 EMA. So FNGU still in a bull flag, just like QQQ. Notice FNGU, if you take the quad lines, put them in here, still consolidating in quadrant 4 right there. Let's take a look at Diamond Dow. Okay, Diamond Dow broke the low right here, so that put that in a downtrend. Okay, Diamond Dow candle yesterday, lower high, lower low, closing below the last low, puts it in a downtrend. And when we got closing below a bearish trap, 3 underneath the 8, all three, price 3, 8 underneath a curling 17 EMA right there. So Diamond Dow in a downtrend. Okay, SPY is in a downtrend. All right, and IWM in a downtrend. Okay, so QQQ, FNGU, not in a downtrend. Just consolidating over to the right. All right, let's take a look at our technicals. You can see the price action for yesterday for the NYSE, because this is all 7,000 stocks or however many are in the NYSE for T2122. Well, we came out of the buy zone right here. This would be yesterday's, not yesterday's, this would be the day before's price action. And this would be yesterday's. We came out of the buy zone straight into the oversold zone. Okay? Knocked on the door for the sell zone, but couldn't break in. All right, so we stayed in the oversold zone all day yesterday. So here is the buyer's chop zone. Notice we just shot right through the buyer's chop zone, right through the midpoint. Notice here's a couple bounces on the midpoint where it held. They didn't even stop to bounce right here. They didn't even stop to bounce on the sell zone. Notice here, say bounce on the sell zone. They just came right through all the way to oversold zone. So there's a whole lot of selling yesterday. Now let's take a look at T2123. No surprise here. Okay. Red from the beginning of the day all the way to the end of the day. Yesterday we had core price inflation, and market didn't like the numbers. All right. So we had a pullback. T2123 3 bar. All right. Here we see price action dipping below the prior all-time high. This should have acted as support. You can see we got up. We did what we wanted it. It did what I wanted it to do, which was consolidate on top of this area. And I need it to hold. It'd be nice to see this recover sometime today and get back up on top of a prior all-time high. We'll see what they want to do. Okay? That was a pretty big igniting move yesterday. All right, all the way from 522 almost down to, I think it was 512. That's a $10 drop, and let me just say $9 of it happened pretty darn fast. Okay, probably within 30 minutes. $9 of a $10 drop. Okay, so we'll see if they're going to get any follow through today. I'm looking for probably a doji candle while the market processes this $10 drop, but doesn't mean that that's what I'm going to get. They could go another $10 or even $12 today. There's no telling what they want to do. All right, so we'll see what happens. As we were left off yesterday, we were in a bear flag. So we may get another consolidation day, and then we'll see if the bulls can find some mustard to start to lift the market back up. So that was T2123. This is our 3-bar chart. You can see it has gone from green to red. All right, back here underneath the prior all-time high. Here's FNGU. This would be the price action for yesterday from right here where it says 10 all the way to the shaded area. So you can see red throughout most of the morning, and then green, red, green, red, green, red, green, red. Just Christmas tree the rest of the day. Up over VWAP and banging on the door of this falling 200 SMA. Like to see them get back on top of that. All right, so that's FNGU for yesterday. All right, let's take a look at some energy. So we'll look at USO. So here's USO, definitely in an uptrend. Okay, yesterday's price action, lower high, lower low. Closing above the bullish trap over rising 17 EMA. And you can see energy is doing what I asked it to do also, exactly what I'm looking for, which was to get up on top of resistance, break through resistance, get up on top, and I want to see it hold as support. So here we got up and we held as support here, and we got up a little higher, and then we held as support here. So consolidating up over this $80 level, that's a good sign for petroleum crude oil. So that's bullish right there. Okay, let's take a look at UNG. Now, I was bidding for contracts yesterday in UNG. I may get filled for some more today. All right, so here we have UNG, all right, making a higher low and a higher high. And we got ourselves a little inverse head and shoulders here. This would be the head, and this would be a right shoulder, and this would be a left shoulder. So we got ourselves a little inverse head and shoulders going on. So UNG in an uptrend, making a higher low and a higher high. Closing the daily candle was an inside day with a lower high and a lower low. All right. But closing over the bullish trap over a flat 17 EMA. So we'll see if they can get things going sometime today or this week. So there's UNG starting a new uptrend. Let's take a look at precious metals. So here comes silver. All right, silver for the 7th day in a row prints a new all-time high. Not an all-time high, new 2.5-year high right there. Okay, you can see higher high, but also lower low outside day, but closing over the bullish trap over a rising 17 EMA. There's silver. Gold putting in a lower high and a lower low, closing over the bullish trap over rising 17 EMA. So gold just taking a short pit stop and wants to continue racing higher. We'll see. So there's GLD in an uptrend. SLB in an uptrend. USO in an uptrend. UNG in an uptrend. Let's take a look at a few sectors going on here. Take a look at XLI. These are our industrials. Okay, industrials still bullish till we take out this low. Although if we do start putting in lower highs and lower lows, we could be turn this into a downtrend. Okay, so price action for yesterday is lower high, lower low, closing below the bearish cross, but above the 17 EMA. Industrials still in an uptrend. XLK, that's our technology. Technology making a lower low right here. All right, so technology XLK in a downtrend, lower high, lower low. All right, putting in a lower high here and making a lower low here puts XLK in a downtrend. Now, if we back up, weekly, monthly chart, this is bullish consolidation right there. That's a bull flag. On smaller time frame, being a daily, which is smaller than the weekly and monthly, okay, we have a downtrend. You can have a daily downtrend inside of a bullish flag. That happens sometimes. So you can see this possibly consolidate through here for maybe a couple months until things cool off and CPI looks better, and then we get going again. We'll see what happens. XLK starting a new downtrend right here. So there's XLK. All right, let's take a look at IYT. IYT, this is yesterday's candle. Lower high, lower low, breaking the low, puts it in a downtrend. All right, price action, closing below a bearish trap, below a flat 17 EMA right there. Okay, so transports now in a downtrend. Technology now in a downtrend. Okay, industrials not in a downtrend. All right, let's look at financials. All right, so here's financials putting in a lower high and a lower low, having a downtrend here in the financials. Lower high, lower low, puts XLF in a downtrend. So a little pullback here, okay, right on top of minor support, right through there. Okay, looking for this to J-hook up out of there. Really don't want it to break this area here. This would be right about 40. We start breaking 40, we're breaking major support. Okay, so here's XLF in a daily downtrend. Lower high, is that yesterday? That's today. That's it. Lower high, lower low, closing below the bearish trap, below a flat 17 EMA. Okay, there's XLF. All right, now let's go take a look at US dollar index. Okay, so here's the dollar, okay, in an uptrend right through here. You can see we pulled back, made a higher low right here. Here's the last low, made a higher low. Then we came in here, produced a higher high, so that put us in an uptrend. Pulled back, made another higher low, and then we just put in a higher high yesterday, and it seems like they're getting a little follow through this morning. We'll see what happens. So US dollar in an uptrend. Not good because the conversion rate to convert to US dollars to pay us is going to cost foreign countries more money, all right, more of their dollars to buy our goods and services, or more of their currency to buy our goods and services, which in turn makes our goods and services less attractive. Okay, not as competitive. Okay, lower revenue equals lower profits, and profits are what we're looking for when we invest in companies. Okay, or institutions invest in companies. Okay, so there's US dollar. Max pain for today is 515. We may hit 515. I think that's about the midpoint of yesterday's sell-off, 515. It's possible we hit 515 today. We have 1 1/4 puts for every call. Okay, so we got more puts than we have calls. All right, so there's max pain. On the economic calendar, yesterday, of course, we had CPI, and then we had FOMC minutes that came out at 2 p.m. All right, and I noticed the bulls were not inspired by the minutes, so not very much happened after the minutes finished off yesterday at 2 p.m. So maybe some more follow through today. We'll see what happens. PPI comes out at 8:30 today, as well as jobless claims at 8:30. We got a natural gas report at 10:30, like we do every Thursday. All right, another Fed speaker, but it's not Mr. Powell, so pretty much a light day till after PPI comes out. So we'll see what happens there. And tomorrow, 8:30, import-export prices, consumer sentiment at 10. All right, a couple more Fed speakers, but none of them are Mr. Powell. But the exciting news for Friday is, guess what? It's the earnings. The big banks are reporting again. Gosh, it seems like just yesterday we just heard from them. So here we are with earnings. Constellation Brands, $48 billion. They're going to report this morning. Fastenal, they're going to report $43 billion. CarMax, $13 billion. Okay, none of these are going to really rock and roll the markets, but they're familiar names right there. Friday, all right, big banks report. All right, $500 billion. JP Morgan Chase is going to report in the morning. Wells Fargo in the morning. Progressive in the morning. BlackRock in the morning. Citigroup in the morning. State Street in the morning. Okay, all of these are big names when we talk about the financial industry right there. So got a lot of big names reporting on Friday. Those could move the market. Let's see what's coming on Monday. Schwab Bank, Goldman Sachs. Looks like an airport. So some more. We're going to follow through with more big bank earnings on Monday. And for Tuesday, oh, look at this. UNH, there's about $500 billion there. J&J, $1/3 trillion. And then Bank of America, more banks. All of these could move the markets on Friday, Monday, and Tuesday. So Friday's going to kick off a really busy week, it looks like, next week right there. So might want to Keep yourself well hedged every evening as you go into the close. Think about how you want to hedge your positions because all these earnings could rock and roll the market in an unfavorable direction. So just think about that after Friday. All right. So I'm going to take questions in the room. All right. And if I don't have any questions, I'm going to go ahead and render my video. All right. I want to thank everybody for out there in YouTube land, video land. Thank you for subscribing and being part of my channel. I really appreciate that. Thank you for all the kind words.